One thing that I've had a hard time with is trying to figure out what protein to have after I get home from a run. I don't want to eat meat. That does not sound good. Beans don't sound good to me either. I've had a hard time finding protein shakes that I like that are not dairy based and don't have a bunch of fake sugar in them. But these energy/protein balls that we're going to be making today are perfect for after those post-run hard workouts when you know you need to be getting in the protein that you need to recover after working hard. Plus, these are super kid friendly and something you'll love to have on hand in your house. So let's get started. So the ingredients that you're going to need for these protein balls are right back here. There's only 5. We're going to talk about some substitutions or additions that you can be doing, but really these simple 5 ingredients makes for a very easy recipe and easy to pull together. Okay, so you're going to need honey, so that's your sweetener. Flaxseed. We're going to put in a 1/2 cup of flaxseed, and that's going to give us 12 grams total protein within the recipe. Okay, and then next we have old-fashioned oats. This is going to be a great way to get protein into these energy balls as well. So we're going to put in 2 cups, which equals 20 grams total protein in the recipe. Next we have peanut butter, also with protein, and for 1 cup, which we're going to put in there, is 56 grams of protein. So you can definitely see why these are going to be a great snack post-run or post-workout. And then lastly, yummy chocolate chips, which do not have any protein. They just make these taste good. All right, so let's talk about some quick substitutions and just things to note as you're pulling together these ingredients. I have old-fashioned oats there. They are the whole ones. Do not use, or I should say you can't use, you can. I've made them with these. These are the quick 1-minute oats, but the ones that are not cut up are much easier to bring it all together. It's just harder to get it all to stick together with these. However, I always buy both because I like to make oatmeal with the quick 1 minute. So yes, you can use them. Just keep in mind they might be harder to put together. As far as making some additions, you could add chia seeds, which will add more protein into these energy balls. You can also add coconut, okay, which is another ingredient that, you know, if you like, great to put in. And I do just want to give a shout out. This is not completely an original recipe by me. It's adapted from Gimme Some Oven. So I give credit where credit is due there. So I'll go ahead and make sure I link the original recipe below, but her recipe is a little bit different than mine. My measurements are different, and she does have coconut in hers. So you could try that. If you want to make them a little bit healthier, you could omit the chocolate chips. You could use raisins. I actually have a bunch of dates here, so I'll probably make another batch with dates. Just cut up basically like raisins, and then you can just throw them in there instead of the chocolate chips. Or if you want to make them unhealthier and you have a bunch of Easter candy left over like I do, you could easily use some M&Ms. I have Easter M&Ms here, or whatever it is that you might have. Other than that, we're just going to go ahead and throw these together quickly, and I think you're really going to love them. Okay, so first we're going to start with our oatmeal. So I've already measured this out. You need 2 cups of oatmeal, so we're going to go ahead and put that in. Okay, and then next we have a 1/2 cup of flaxseed. You definitely could do more. This is kind of my preference here, not to use too much. And if you don't love that kind of flax flavor, you could definitely lessen it as well. But again, this adds a good amount of protein to these protein balls. And it's also going to help it kind of all stick together, okay? All right, next we're going to do our peanut butter. And no, I did not do this part ahead of time because, I don't know, I'm crazy, but let me know if you guys are the same way. And I already opened this, but I'm like, I gotta do this for you guys. I just love dipping into the peanut butter, that very first bite. I love it so much. I should have said you can absolutely do this with other butters. So if you either have an allergy or you don't eat peanuts, you could definitely use almond butter, sun butter, something different. I will say though that like the natural peanut butter, I know this says natural, but you know what I'm talking about. The ones that are just like peanuts and salt and have all the oil at the top. It's just harder to get the sticky mixture that you need. So really make sure that if you are using those types of butters that you blend them really, really well ahead of time. All right, let's go ahead and add our peanut butter. So we need 1 cup for this. Don't worry guys, I used a different spoon than the one that I looked before. So we're gonna go ahead and put this cup of peanut butter in, okay, all that good protein, and this is what's gonna make it all stick together. And just to keep in mind, if you guys are having a hard time getting it to all stick together a little bit later, definitely go for the peanut butter and adding a little bit more at a time, and that will help it all stick together if you're having trouble with that. All right, so we have our oatmeal, we have our flaxseed, we have our peanut butter. We need to go ahead and add our honey next. And guys, I don't really measure this out for this one. You do need about 2/3 of a cup, give or take, but I don't like measuring out honey just because it's so sticky and hard to get out, right? So I'm gonna call it gloops of honey. Shout out to We Cook, We Bake. If you haven't checked out that channel, definitely go check out their channel. They make really yummy stuff in the air fryer, but they call it gloops of honey, and it's so accurate. So that's what we're gonna be doing, putting in gloops of honey, and you can always add more later if you don't quite have enough, okay? I kind of like to err on the side of a little bit less, just because I don't love overpowering honey flavor, but if you really love honey, then absolutely you can do a little bit more. All right, so our last ingredient that we need are our chocolate chips. And I don't know if I said this before, but I have dark chocolate chips. So I specifically chose these because they have less sugar than the semi-sweet morsels or the milk chocolate morsels. Whereas those had 8 grams of sugar for 1 tablespoon, this has 6. So I got these 53% cacao, I don't even know how you say that, cacao dark chocolate morsels, and I love dark chocolate, and just a little bit healthier option, right? I mean, it's still chocolate, but you know, we try, right? Okay, so let's go ahead and add these chocolate chips, and actually, if you notice, these are a little bit larger than like regular chocolate chips, so I'm gonna take a look next time and see if they have smaller ones, because I do like a little bit smaller. All right, there we go. We have our cup of chocolate chips. I'm gonna add a couple more, and then we're gonna stir it up, and we have to put it in the fridge for about an hour, or at least you should. I don't always do that, and that will help it kind of all stick together when you're forming the balls. All right, guys, these look delicious, or this looks delicious, not these yet. They're not in their balls yet, but we're gonna do that. Like I said, guys, you wanna put these in the fridge to help it kind of stick together a little bit better. I'm gonna go ahead and attempt to just do it because I want these done. And I'm hungry. I purposely didn't eat so that I could have some of these, or a couple of these. I would say 2 is a good amount to eat. After your run or your workout, a good amount of protein. And when we make them all at the end, I'll give you the breakdown of how many grams of protein are in each ball. I'm just not exactly sure how many we're gonna make yet, so we'll find out. All right, let's go ahead and roll these up, and I'm just gonna put them in a plastic container, and then we store them in the fridge. All right, guys, so I have a Tupperware here. Good thing you didn't see my Tupperware at Lazy Susan. It is out of control. Anyone else have a Tupperware drawer or cabinet that is just unacceptable? That's us. I don't even like opening it. Okay, so let's go ahead and I'm gonna roll these up. I'm gonna take my rings off just so they don't get super sticky. Your hands are just gonna get a little bit more sticky if you don't put them in the fridge before you roll them up, but otherwise that's really it. You'll see they're coming together just fine. It's just I'm gonna end up with a little bit more peanut butter and stickiness on my hands than if I would have waited. So if you really care about that, if you have more time, then I would say yes. Definitely go ahead and put the mixture in the fridge for an hour. But, you know, you don't have to. All right, guys, we are finishing up. These are looking delicious. I can't wait to dig in. I definitely have a couple that are a little bit bigger and a little bit smaller. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and do the math here for you guys and figure out how much protein is in each one of these. As far as how much protein you should have after a workout, I don't really pay too much attention to getting these exact right amounts. I'm a very intuitive eater, pay attention to what makes me feel good, and I just make sure I'm getting a really good ratio of those important macronutrients, proteins, carbs, and fats, all of what you need. All right, so this made 17. Nice little odd number there for us. Obviously, we could have probably made them a little smaller and made up to 20. As far as how many grams of protein each one has. All right, guys, I literally just left and did a little long division for you because my calculator on my phone is being used. So you're welcome. And each of these has, look how delicious they look. Each of these has about 5 grams of protein in each one. So if you eat 2 after your run or your workout, you're getting in 10 grams of protein just from these. So they're a great snack after your run. If you guys are thinking about trying this recipe, if these look yummy to you and you're getting excited about having some energy balls, please press a like below. I really appreciate it and it supports my channel. If you guys have some other ideas for add-ins into these energy balls, please write them in the comments below. I would love to make variations. These are one of our family's favorite snacks. So happy energy ball making and running, and I will see you guys in the next video.